All right. Welcome to episode 121. This episode of 2OC, we talk about Yang Gang, thank you, ma'am, badass predatory avians, and Anton gets creative. I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan.
Hey, Anton. So what's been new with you?
I mean, it's been like 2.5 weeks since we've recorded, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot has happened between those times, and it's a good thing, Like we have more stuff to talk about, so that's good. I was able to check out, some of my grassroots of designing. I was at this thing called AIGA. And sometimes when they say it really fast, it sounds like AIJ.
Aji.
So this is a organization where, it's for a bunch of designers who can get together and basically share ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's like a fraternity for like designers.
Okay, like a little club.
Yeah, a little club.
Yeah.
So at these events, especially in California, there's a lot of events that goes on all the time in LA and Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, in Orlando, it's a smaller community, so there isn't like something like LA. But I mean, the events that they do have here are quite worth it, because some of the ones that I went to was very inspirational. Some of the top designers. One that I really, really liked for a long time, his name is Aaron Draplin. He's a logo designer, but he also designs pretty much anything, basically, as long as someone pays him to design something, of course.
As long as the check clears.
Yeah. So some of his famous works would be the green logo for Obama, where they did a whole ecosystem thing where it's good for the environment. So he made a lot of those, a bunch of those logos. Mm-hmm. It's on like those signs on the freeway that you see sometimes. He's worked with Nike. He's worked with like some really big names. Yeah, exactly. He just did it. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see the whole process of how he designs stuff. And it's very slapstick. He's very old fashioned, so he starts on like a notepad. He starts drawing different things on there, and then he just keeps drawing, and then he scans a couple of them, puts it on the computer, and once it's on the computer, it changes, it morphs. There's so many different variations on different types of logos. And it's kind of cool to see him go through that whole process, and he's kind of like giving us a little insight of what exactly that needs to be done in each step.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like potty training.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like the sketching is like him making the clay into an initial mold. Mm-hmm. And then once he puts on the computer, that's when it really starts sculpting out the details and adding to it, right? Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. Sometimes what you see on the computer may not be something that you see on the paper. So, on the computer, it just becomes something totally different.
Well, I mean, each medium helps you create something different, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. So that kind of inspired me to do something different. And there was a couple talks, kind of like TED Talk style stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple local designers that really inspired me to, want to do something a little bit more. So that's why I was talking to you today about, doing some new t-shirt designs, and probably something that, everybody would want to have. Mm-hmm. I don't want to spoil anything.
I would say something stylish, but not just like the show logo, right?
Yeah. Not just a show logo. I want something that means something to somebody, and mostly everybody that can relate to, where they're like, they look at the shirt and they're like, oh, that's so cool. I want one of those,
So like the podcast is secondary to the design. The design isn't trying to promote the podcast. Okay.
Yeah. And, the design means something related to the podcast. Mm-hmm. So when people wear it, they're like, oh yeah, these dudes, they do a podcast and they do some kick-ass design t-shirts, Yeah.
No, that's cool, dude. I like that. It's also, aside from the logo, it's a nice way to connect because it's very personalized, customized to the feel of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but I told you when you told me about the presentations, I'm like I'm happy because I think since late elementary school, early junior high, every time I come to your house, you're just like toying around with Photoshop or you're just playing like you've always been a designer, so
Hmm.
I know that's kind of your one of your outlets. So I'm happy that you came back into it.
Yeah. So I also got to see some people that are from different types of mediums of
Hmm.
the designing industry. Like there's this guy, his name is Elias Martinez.
Hmm.
He is originally from I think Milwaukee,
Hmm.
and he's a brand management and creative strategist. So what he does is he would be contracted with companies like General Mills,
Okay.
and brands that he was in charge of was Betty Crocker.
Okay.
And it's kind of
So,
interesting because he's telling us a story. Okay, I this is something I have to tell because it's so interesting. Okay,
okay.
so while he was talking, he's introducing himself. He's like, the things that really inspire him is his family, and they like to go hiking. They like to do a lot of stuff. And when he's one of the only ones in the family that graduated.
Hmm.
So when he graduated, his mom bought him a watch. And during that time, he's like, it's a cheap watch. It's not something like, crazy like a Rolex or anything like that. But I mean, it has some sentimental value, but he didn't
Hmm.
know about it at that time. So when he got it from his mom, he kind of kept it in a safe place. He didn't really wear it as much,
Yeah.
and he totally forgot about it. And then years later, he moves a lot. So him and his wife would like go through things and only bring the most important things with them.
Hmm.
Because when you move, you gotta be mobile. You can't
Well, I mean,
bring everything with you.
it's like families immigrating to the United States. They can only really take what they can carry with them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one of the things that was very important to him that he found out later in life was that watch. It has a lot of history because
Hmm.
it kind of it's a good memento.
Hmm.
So anyways, he's like, all right, I'm gonna get back to that story, but this is what I'm gonna do. He grabs the watch, he puts it right next to the table on the ground,
Hmm.
and then next thing you know, he goes into his bag. He gets this big ass rock. I don't know why he brings a rock with him, but it's like this big. It's probably about like a foot long.
Hmm.
And he puts it right on top of the desk, and it's kind of leaning off of it towards that watch.
Okay.
So then he goes back, and then everyone's like, "What? What is this guy doing? That watch is like, it has sentimental value. Why
Right.
would you do something like that?" So, anyways, he carries on by introducing us to the things that really matter.
Hmm.
Like Betty Crocker. This brand is made by a bunch of people who are in marketing field,
Yeah.
and Betty Crocker was a very big household name.
Hmm.
A lot of people use it to uh, bake cakes,
Hmm.
make different types of food at home, cooking with family.
Well, I know in the 90s, I mean, their cookbooks were a big thing. I don't know if they still are, but it
Yeah,
is a household name.
yeah, but Betty Crocker was targeted towards women who stayed
Hmm.
at home. There are stay-at-home moms who are just taking care of the family, and that's why
Right.
they were targeting towards those people. And
Hmm.
back in the days, on magazines, on billboards, and TV, there would be a lady. Her name's Betty Crocker,
Hmm.
and she's kind of like the big independent woman who's taking care of the
Hmm.
family. Yeah. So nowadays, that doesn't really that doesn't really work in this demographic anymore.
No, the traditional roles are kind of out the window now.
Yeah, and it's funny because there is no such thing as a Betty Crocker. There is no
Hmm.
lady. And they always marketed it like that. And they would get letters from all over the world. And the letters are being addressed to Betty Crocker saying,
Yeah.
thank you for being a big role model, but there is no
Okay.
person. So,
Yeah.
anyways, he would go over to the rock and he would push it a little bit, and then he goes back and he would talk about something else. So he would say, nowadays, everybody who are staying at home could be either a mother or a father, or maybe a father that's married to another father, a male.
Yeah, again, different family dynamics now.
Yeah, so you can't really market Betty Crocker in this time of age. It needs to be more diverse. So he had to switch gears on how to strategize to market towards everybody. So he started thinking about, what's the most important thing about family at home right now is to be happy, is to share love. So it doesn't matter what color you are, if you're being adopted in a family, it doesn't matter about sex, what kind of sex you are. So then he would go over to the table and he would knock the rock off, and it would hit the watch.
Right.
And he's like, that's the most important thing about strategizing, is telling a story and making people believe that something is of sentimental value. And that sells the product. And the byproduct is the watch.
Yeah.
Yes, the watch has no sentimental value to him, but the story makes it a sentimental value.
I mean, it's almost what was the I'm bringing out what diamond company, but it's what marketing companies did with diamonds in the early 1900s. That I mean, there are more valuable minerals than diamonds, but because of the way they're marketed, because of the control they have over the inventory, the message behind the diamond, diamond's a woman's best friend, it skyrocketed the value of diamonds.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings to, one of the biggest examples that he gave during the speech was he took a college class. And in this college class, when you first get into any courses at all, the professor would make you write a letter. And he would bring these items from like a thrift store or a garage sale. So he would bring like a little statue, a little globe, a used ketchup can, something like that. And he would tell the students to write a story about a specific object. Doesn't matter which one. And the thing about these objects is they cost less than $5. So what he does is at the very beginning of class, he collects all that. He would post these pictures on eBay, puts the story in the description, and at the very end of the semester, he collected almost like $2,300 just from selling all of these things. And it's because of the story that the students wrote.
Damn.
Yeah. They would be like, oh, this celebrity ate, a cheeseburger, and he used this ketchup. So this is what's left in this, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the story that sells the product. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting to share. So, I mean, there's a couple other people too, but that guy kind of stood out the most.
Yeah, that's the one that spoke to you. That's the story you connected with.
Yeah. And The Rock actually did have sentimental value to him because he would go hiking with his family. And on one of the hiking trips, they found that rock, and it stayed with them ever since. So it's a pet rock.
How much did you pay for the rock?
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
All right, Don. So the other updates here. Very funny. So a couple weeks ago, we were talking about, offline, we were talking about our friend Tony, that he's in real estate, and I was talking to my girlfriend about, like, I'm excited because hopefully this year is the year I get to finally make my move in the real estate world. And I'm on my way to the gym. I hang up. I walk into the gym, and who do I see?
It's Tony.
Yeah.
That's
So I started talking to him.
That's
Holy
hilarious.
crap, dude. So yeah, that, like, I told him I was looking for and I gave him information. So I thought that was like a funny coincidence.
Hmm.
I don't think I told you yet, but I wanted to share that.
Hmm.
The other thing, and I mean, it's gonna be over by the time this podcast comes out,
Hmm.
but it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Well, today for you.
Yeah.
So want to see if you had any plans for the wife
Yeah.
or what was going
Yeah. So I did I had plans. Uh,
on. But
so here's what happened. Um, I mean, I planned this weeks ago, and I
Mhm.
already know that it's impossible to get like a dinner reservation on Valentine's Day, especially like if it's a really good restaurant that you want to go to. Um, and knowing in California, it's gonna be very hard for you to find a good one. I mean, you know a bunch of good ones, but
I,
it's hard to get it on Valentine's Day.
yeah, you have to book it weeks in advance.
Yeah, so that's what I
Especially
did.
especially
Yeah,
especially because Valentine's Day is on a Friday this week or this year. So
yeah,
yeah,
that makes it worse.
yeah.
Yeah, so Valentine's Day, we actually did it today, a
Hmm.
day early,
Okay.
and my original plan was to go watch Knives Out
Uh-huh.
and then go have dinner.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of traffic on the freeway,
Uh-huh.
so I had to alter the plans a little bit, and basically instead of going to the movies, we went baby clothes shopping or and stroller shopping.
Hmm.
So it worked out. I mean,
So
it's great.
romantic.
Yeah, very romantic.
Like
But
family fun.
however, the restaurant that we went to is called Bull and Bear.
Uh-huh.
It is located inside of Waldorf, Astoria. Uh, it's actually on the Disney property.
Hmm.
So it's a very fancy hotel itself,
Okay.
but the restaurant is on another level. It is so good. Some of the stuff that we have there. I mean, okay, so this is a fine dining restaurant. They're
Hmm.
known for like doing some very interesting fusion stuff and doing something that's out of the ordinary. Some of the stuff that we would have would be, um, well, okay, let me tell you, it is expensive. So
Hmm.
let's start with that. They got like foie gras stuff. They got steaks, tomahawks for two, like those giant ones.
Yeah, the freaking
Um,
Flintstone steaks. Yeah.
yeah. But I think the biggest star of the whole entire dining experience
Hmm.
is the appetizers. Dude, the appetizers are insane. They're small, but
Hmm.
damn, does it pack like a huge flavor palette.
Yeah.
I want to be Guy Fieri on this one. This is totally like it takes you to Flavor
Flavor
Town.
Town.
It totally takes you to Flavor Town. And so one of the things we had was called Pasta Explosion. And literally, the name speaks for itself. So it's kind of like a little ravioli.
Yeah.
And inside is like a carbonara, pancetta and stuff inside.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's very smoky in the inside. But
Uh-huh.
the noodle, the ravioli noodle, it's very
Uh-huh.
thin, but it
Hmm.
packs like a big chew. And
Hmm.
on top of that, they shave off a piece of Parmigiano Reggiano on top.
Okay. Yeah.
And this one's aged, so you can totally taste the funk.
Hmm.
That's the thing with Parmigiano Reggiano is that if it is a very good age, you'll get a very strong flavor. And I know
And
that,
that is
yeah, go ahead.
and that cheese is actually rare right now because of the earthquake that happened a few years ago in that part of Italy, and they lost tons of that cheese
Yeah,
that was aging. Yeah.
yeah. So that cheese, if you go to Whole Foods, make sure like you ask about the age
Hmm.
because sometimes like it's a very young age and you don't get that same funk of the
It's
tangy taste.
yeah, it's aged just to the threshold we can say it's aged. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then they got some carbonara like style um, sauce on top, which is like butter and parmigiano,
Hmm.
and there's a black peppercorn, and dude, like they're so small, like they're like probably smaller than a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically scoop it up. There's only 5 pieces. You scoop it up,
Mm-hmm.
pop it in, and bam, 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 bam. Like it's like
Everything
you
at
don't know
once.
what hit you. And it kind of tastes like you ate a whole entire bowl of carbonara in one
Mm-hmm.
bite.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah, so
concentrated.
it's crazy. Yeah, but other than that, I had a Australian Wagyu steak with foie gras
Mm-hmm.
on top, and the sides that we had was macaroni with smoked bacon. Oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
that was freaking bomb! Like if you had the steak first, that's
Mm-hmm.
good. If you had the macaroni first, you wouldn't even eat the steak. It's
Hmm.
that good.
You
It's
be good,
crazy.
you be good with it one.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Orlando restaurants, my friend that I know from my office, she's gonna be going to Orlando in a couple of weeks, I think.
Hmm.
But she was talking to me about like, oh, have you ever been to Universal City Walk in Orlando? I'm like, yeah, it's big, stuff like that. It's more there's the Disney Springs and City Walk. There's more stuff to do there than there is the ones here.
Yeah.
And I remember that she's into sushi, she's into steak, so I recommended that she check out the Cowfish
Hmm.
restaurant. And she goes like that doesn't sound that appetizing. I'm like, it's weird fusion of seafood and good steaks. You'd enjoy it. And I showed her one of the pictures. She goes, I'm down.
It's steak
uh, I,
sushi.
well,
Yeah.
I showed her the what's it called? The
Burgushi's.
prime. Well, it was like prime time. I forgot it was primetime something lobster roll, which is like the it's a roll with the lobster in the middle,
Oh
and then on
yeah.
top, instead of fish, they
The
had layered
Mark's
on
roll.
top the fillet.
Hmm.
Was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a little side thing. Anyways,
Yeah. Oh, oh.
so
Also let her know. Chocolate Emporium, one of the new restaurants. That place is freaking bomb too.
at Disney Springs or at the Universal City Walk?
At the Universal City Walk. That place is bomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, chocolate and pork. I'll let him know.
Hmm.
All right. So for my Valentine's plans, the Valentine's Day is gonna be fairly simple. Because Christmas felt like it was just like last month.
Hmm.
At least personally, uh, we decided to kind of like, you know what, we already kind of got the big item we wanted to get each other.
Hmm.
So we decided to do customized gift baskets.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah. So like we like we decided to get a basket, and then $40 limit. We fill it with what stuff that like the other person would like and stuff like that. So like little gifts and stuff like that.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Um, yeah, I mean, I would share what I have in hers, but she randomly listens to the show, and I don't want her to peek.
Oh.
Uh,
She could be listening or watching right now.
exactly.
Yeah.
All I will say is there's some snacks in there,
Hmm.
as well as some other items. And then on Sunday we're doing pasta cooking class
Oh,
or
nice.
pasta making class, to say.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah,
The
yeah. So
sushi one worked out pretty well, right?
no, I thought I told you. So the sushi one was canceled because they didn't meet the class requirement, like the amount.
Ah, damn. Okay.
So yeah, so far this one I think we're good. Especially because it's Valentine's Day weekend. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be couples looking for activities to do.
Hmm.
So yeah, hopefully, knock on wood, they don't cancel this one too. But I mean, yeah,
They
at least we get
can't.
to do that
It's Valentine's weekend.
for real.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. Let's get into news. We're running a bit late here.
All right. News time.
All right, Anton. I'm gonna have to ask you to take the lead on these Oscar winners, while I prepare something really quick.
Are you making pasta already?
Kind of.
All right. So this year's Oscars, we're just gonna go to the main stuff. Man, am I surprised! I actually watched the Oscars and I was really really surprised. I thought okay, so we did the Oscars um, game where we chose which people or
Hmm.
movie is gonna win the Oscars,
Right.
and I was really picking my favorites.
Uh-huh.
That's
That's
basically
that
what I
was your
was doing.
wish list.
Yeah, that was my wish list of what I wanted to win, and oh boy, it was quite intense. It felt like when you were watching um, the Super Bowl the week before. That's what I felt
Holy
like.
crap, you're right. That's right. We recorded before the Super Bowl last time.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and do the top ones,
Okay.
and then I'll go with the game.
So we'll start with the actors. Actor in the leading role, and the nominees was well. Should I just go over the nominees or just the winners? You already
Just go
know
the
the
winners.
winners. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
go with
right.
the
So
winners.
performance by an actor in the leading role, Joaquin Phoenix. I had high hopes for that, and I knew he was gonna win because the people that
Who?
was up against him, I think the only person that I would think that is worthy of winning would be Adam Driver in Marriage Story.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Real quick, have you heard any of his speeches or any clip or seen any clips from his speech that night?
For Joaquin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, he- Jesus, like he is exactly what Ricky Gervais was trying to call out during the Golden Globes.
Yeah, but I mean, he had a right to do it because he was never that type of guy before.
I know,
He
but
he
still,
he
though,
he got a little soft because of
he narrated a documentary, right?
he narrated, but also he's is he married to Rooney Mara?
Uh, I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, I think she made him soft because he's never been like this before.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna touch that joke.
Okay.
All right,
All
go
right.
on.
All right. Performance by an actor in a supporting role, and the person that won was Brad Pitt. I was
That
actually
that one
really
fits.
surprised with this one
No, I mean that one fits. I think that
because
one he's due.
I thought it was gonna be Al Pacino or Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
I really thought that was gonna be it.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Brad Pitt did a really damn good job in that movie. It was actually really entertaining to watch.
Hmm.
All right, so performance by an actress in a leading role, and it was Renee Zellweger.
For Judy, which I never actually saw.
Yeah, I didn't
Uh,
see either, but I thought it was gonna go to either Scarlett, Marriage Story, or
yeah,
Charlize Theron for Bombshell.
yeah.
I really thought.
I think I went Charlize just because of the political impact.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But I picked. I actually got this one right. I picked Renee Zellweger because she's always a really solid actress, and
yeah. No, you're
she's
right.
always nominated too, like most of the time when it comes to like a serious movie. So I wasn't really surprised. All right, so performance by an actress in a supporting role, and it went to Laura Dern in A Marriage Story. I seriously thought that it was going to be Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit because she was actually really good in that one. And you saw Jojo Rabbit, right?
No, I haven't. I haven't
Oh,
seen
you
it.
haven't. Okay.
Yeah, you were the only one to pick Laura Dern for
Yeah.
supporting actress.
Yeah. So I picked her because I know she's a very avid actress, and she's been in it for a very long time, and people seem to have her as a favorite. So I think
Hmm.
that's probably why she won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Sure. Well, what's next?
All right. So, uh, I'll just give down I'll announce it now.
Okay.
So for the winner of the Oscar Pick'ems,
Hmm.
was you, which you already
Yes.
bragged. You had 14 out of the 24 categories, right?
Hmm. Alan is a little. Oh, is he back?
I look drunk.
You got a little disconnected there. We have a little connection problem.
Oh no. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, you're
Just
back.
can't really see me.
All right, you're back. You're back.
All right. So yeah, you got the first place,
Hmm.
but you declined it. You just want the bragging rights, but you wanted to go to one of the other people,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So second place was actually a tie with uh, our friends Victoria and Josias. Josias from the Comic Syndicate. They got 10 right, so you beat them by a long shot.
Hmm.
And since it's a tie, I will now put their names in my hat, which you can't really see the names.
Okay.
And the winner, the one I draw, will get the Pop Funkos of the Bad Boys for Life.
Okay.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. And
Well, it's two figures. Why don't you just give them each one?
it's a set. I don't.
Open the box.
I want to see how Josiah's going to react to this one because Victoria is the winner.
Oh no. Oh gosh,
Uh,
that's funny.
so I'll reach out to Victoria. I'll see where she wants the Funkos mailed to. I'm pretty sure she's going to want to mail to the office so she can rub it in Josiah's face.
Wow.
All
Okay.
right. Any other of the winners you want to go over or call out?
Yes. Man, I
I
think
think a
it's a
couple
little
big
too
ones.
early to talk about it because it's in our movie section. But damn, man, Parasite stole the freaking night, dude. And we'll talk more about it when we get to the movie part. But damn, I was really surprised. I really wanted them to win, and they did
Mhm.
win. So we'll talk more about it later. But man, they deserve
I,
that.
I will admit, I love the clips of the director making his awards his speech.
Yeah. Well,
What do you say?
I think in the back he was like, "This is a fucking crazy night." I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I mean, make props to him. Like, he's very compared to the other winners, he was very humble and
Mhm.
gave credit to a lot of people in the industry that were there and other nominees.
Yeah,
He
I don't
wasn't.
know if you know this, but the translator girl, she
Yeah.
has been in the spotlight for like the last 3 months. Because every
Oh, she
time
has. She's
she's a
been the
really
translator for
good
the awards.
translator. Like a lot of Koreans who watch these interviews, they're like,
Hmm.
"Wow, she's really good." And they have like episodes of like different channels on YouTube dedicating each episode to like talking about her.
Oh God,
So she had
taking
like
such.
a big limelight. But you should check it out because it's very interesting. Because she's not just a translator; she's a
Uh-huh.
filmmaker too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I find that kind of interesting. All right, let's move
Okay.
on.
All right, Anton. So a couple of weeks ago, Pokemon announced Pokemon Home.
Hmm.
This is going to enable uh, fans of Pokemon that play Sword and Shield as well as Pokemon Home to centralize all their Pokemon into one, I would say, repository
Hmm.
to like so they can truly collect them all. Um, all I gotta say is about damn time.
Yeah. Can you imagine how many games we played already that we've caught like almost every single Pokemon, and we're not allowed to move it on to the next system?
No, like I mean, going back to like gameplay, like really the only way to do it is if you own this and you put your completed game on one and chose to transfer the Pokemon to one copy or the other copy.
Hmm.
Other than that, there was no other way.
Well, you can
But this is
use
only gonna be for
the Game Boy cable.
yeah, but you need two Game Boys,
I know.
and
That's horrible.
I popped out again.
Hmm. Yeah, your connection.
Oh, so
Oh, there
I
you
mean,
go.
are you gonna get
You're
it?
good.
I mean, I'm curious about it, but I'm not really gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna subscribe to it. I think it's actual
Yeah, I
subscription,
think
isn't
it
it?
was like five or was it 15 a month? Something like that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, it's cool if you're real, like a hardcore Pokemon collector, but other than that, eh. All right, let's see here. You know what?
So Disney price has gone up. What's up with that?
I think I fixed it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Disney prices went up again. You know what? Not by much, but it is getting, like every year, it pisses people off. Um,
Well, Park Hopper now is going to be like $200.
yeah, let me get the thing here. So, according to ABC 7, the price of premium single day tickets increased by 3%, 5% for the Power Copper, and then 5% for the premium annual passes. But if you break it down by the actual like annual passports, it's not that much. I mean, before this is the cheapest one went from 399 to 419,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Signature Plus, the more expensive one, increased by $50 to 1,449.
So for passes, it's not a big significant change, and a lot of people are okay with it. I think it's the individual ticket sales that
So,
kind of.
oh, well then, okay. So, putting the percentages aside, the actual numbers, previously it was 104 to $149,
Mm-hmm.
based on their three-tier system, based on uh, the the influx of people, like the
Mm-hmm.
popularity of the day.
Yeah.
But now they're switching to a five-tier system, which the max, which used to be 149, is now 154.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, again, it looks bad when you look at percentages and just the fact that Disney increased prices, but really it's not that big of a difference compared to what you're
Yeah.
paying anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I bought a couple of Disney stocks, and I was hoping that it would go up because of uh, their report that came out recently,
Mm-hmm.
their earnings. But
Yeah.
it didn't really went up much, and I think the reason why is because of the Disney Shanghai is kind of impacting them in a way.
Yeah.
It went
Um,
up, but it didn't go up that much. It went up probably like $5. But
well, okay, the coronavirus is getting is impacting a lot of things.
oh yeah.
Even I was watching NBC News this morning, and they were talking about um the like McDonald's is impacted because nobody's going out. The entertainment industry is impacted because nobody's going to the movies. They're actually delaying the release of Sonic because of this.
Can you imagine
Um,
Mulan comes out next month and no Chinese person in China is going to go watch it?
I mean, to be fair, Mulan was already kind of an iffy topic in China. I mean, the
No, no,
Disney
no.
version of Mulan, not the not the.
In China, it's fine. It's Hong Kong that's a big issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many conspiracies with the whole coronavirus thing. Anyway, but
Yeah.
anyways, that's
Yeah.
that's a different type of podcast.
All right. So more Disney news. We got Disney buying the rights to the Hamilton recordings, which is a movie that they recorded before the cast, the original Broadway cast left the show. So
Hmm.
they recorded the whole thing. They added a couple more prettier sets to make it
Okay.
look more like a valued set for a movie.
Hmm. Yeah.
But you can totally tell it's a stage. But anyways,
Yeah.
I'm kind of
It's
excited to see this.
educational.
I'm, I'm kind of
That's
excited to see this again because I know the lyrics to a lot of the songs. So watching it again would be a blast, and it'll be cheaper for you to go see Hamilton instead of
yay.
paying like an arm and a leg just to go see it. I've seen it twice, and it's worth it
And
for me. Every penny.
so you've seen it twice, so therefore you only have one arm and one leg left.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we know somebody that probably seen it 4 times by now, but I don't want to
Oh
say the
God.
name.
Does
Yeah,
it start with a T?
I think so.
Oh God. All right. This next one, Anton, I will let you break the news.
Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking. Uh,
Uh,
yeah, Yang Gang is well, they're not gone.
no.
They're hanging on. But
Stop rhyming, Anton.
all right. So Andrew Yang has finally called it quits,
Hmm.
and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's very heartbreaking because this is someone that is very smart. He knows what he's talking about, but I don't think he's getting enough exposure, and he keeps getting blacked out in a lot of media.
Yeah.
there would be times like, for example, the last debate, they had a picture with the whole group. A lot of the newspapers cut him out. He's like right there. You can see his arm.
Yeah.
He's there.
They're focusing on the three. They're focusing on Bernie. They're focusing on Warren. They're focusing on Biden.
Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg's getting in there.
Yeah. And this is kind of retarded. So there would be like 4 people, right? On the screen. You see their pictures. It'll be Biden, Warren, and Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4th person, which was like 4th place, was supposed to be Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
But guess who they put instead? Pete Buttigieg. He's 5th place.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
You know, like.
I mean, the DNC is, again, referring to the last presidential election.
Yeah.
They tend to pick play favorites. They, even though they're supposed to let their voters decide who the top candidates are, they tend to pick their favorites first and then present those people. Well, I'm happy that Bernie's getting a second shot.
Yeah,
he got screwed over.
Mm-hmm.
He got screwed over because the DNC conspired against him to promote, because they really thought Hillary would be the person to beat Trump.
Yeah.
But instead they screwed him over. So now Bernie's getting a second shot. I'm happy that Biden's true colors are showing fairly consistently, and you can see that like his popularity is declining sharply. He's being an a-hole to his own voters.
Yeah, he is. I can see that too.
Yeah, and I think like the main thing was like he had the black vote. Like for the DNC, he out of all the candidates, he had the black vote because of his history with Obama.
Yeah. And he plays that card all the time. He's losing whenever he's debating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Warren, that's what I saw at the gym. She's like been changing her tune. She's being more humble.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have the same like energy. She's being more like team player.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you seen Pete Buttigieg?
Tom Steyer is just on a different level. I don't know if you follow up on him, but he I don't think he's gonna make it that far. I mean, he's a rich guy. He's funding a lot of the stuff himself, but he's always talking about how he likes the other candidates.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be competitive, and talking trash.
I think at this point they're trying to butter each other up to be running mates.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if Elizabeth Warren's trying to secure her role as a vice president, vice presidential candidate for one of the top ones. Same thing with, I mean, maybe Yang can become a vice presidential candidate.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the New Hampshire town hall. But man, like I watched all 3. Actually, not all 3, but like all 4 that night. And dude, Andrew Yang was like so inspirational. Like he had a standing ovation at the very end. None of the other candidates that spoke that night had a standing ovation. And
I saw, but
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go finish it.
Yeah, and I really thought that like that was a turning point. The whole crowd was going crazy, and like there was some type of surge going on. But I guess like the media didn't really talk about it. The only people that were talking about it was CNN. The next day. Yeah. That was it.
No, and so the New Hampshire one, that's the one where Bernie really burned it. Not Bernie. Biden burned his voters, because so all the people that were pushing for him, campaigning for him, getting out there, supporting him. Biden left the state a couple of hours before the polls even closed.
Yeah.
And his campaign headquarters, where he had all his supporters, he Skyped in. He didn't even show, I'm like, dude, like that's jacked up. Like, he knew he wasn't going to win that state. But instead of sticking through at least that night to thank everybody for their hard work, he just bailed. and
Yeah.
ready to move on. So I
Hey,
think that's.
one thing I don't think it's fair at all is Bloomberg.
Oh,
He's spending so much money,
you
like
you
hiring
mean
people to.
you mean Democratic Trump?
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly who
I
he
was
is. Yeah.
I was laughing because one of the stats they showed this morning was they showed Trump's ad spending for Facebook,
Uh
and then they showed Bloomberg, and Bloomberg's like 4 times as much.
huh.
I was like,
He's
okay.
okay. He's
Uh,
not on the debate stage. He's not really, going out to any of
oh,
these states. He's
he's
staying
just
in New York.
yeah, he's just independently trying to campaign, so like finance his own
Yeah,
campaign.
yeah. I don't know if I told you this, but one of the guys, who was Yang Gang, um, he was at home, and one of the Bloomberg guys knocked on the door, and he's like, "Hey, I'm working for Bloomberg, and I was wondering who are you voting for this year?" And he's like, "I'm Yang Gang, dude." He's like, "Oh yeah, me too. I'm just doing this because I'm getting paid."
God, that's fine. Anyways, I think that's enough political talk.
Yeah. All right.
Uh, I mean, we're running late here, so all we're gonna say is, I mean, excited for Justice for Han.
Yeah. Dude, finally justice for Han. So we got this Fast 9 trailer, and yeah, it was leading up to that Han scene that we're like, yes, how is he still alive? We don't know, but we're kind of excited to see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another time jump.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Anton, ready to get into streaming?
Yeah, let's get into streaming.
All right. All right, so last episode, we talked about Josh Gates's show Expedition Unknown coming back for its new season, and he also introduced a spin-off show, Expedition X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head, which will be that starred. I can't remember the guy's name, but my favorite, Jessica Chobot. I haven't gotten a chance to check it out yet.
Oh,
I'm
damn.
guessing you have.
Yes, I have. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start with the new season of Expedition Unknown. It started really, really well. The first episode is about going to find more secrets on the Omaha Beach incident, the war that they were
Hmm.
fighting against the Nazis.
Yeah. World War II.
Saving, yeah, World War II, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because it talks about the soldiers going onto the beach, but they're getting
Mhm.
blown up like from somewhere, and they thought they were able to get rid of whatever was in their way, but
Like
little did
mortars
they
or like mines?
not probably mines maybe, but
Okay.
because I mean that attack was kind of like impromptu and last minute,
Mhm. Yeah.
so they didn't really expect the attack
Yeah.
to be coming that way.
They
And
expected light resistance.
yeah, and the people that were going up to where they thought the mortars were, they weren't
Mhm.
there. They were taken away. Like there's a spot for it, but it looks
Yeah.
like they moved it like to somewhere that's more important.
Hmm.
And I'm guessing the attack that the Nazis thought was somewhere else. But realistically, there's another secret that's going on that we
Hmm.
didn't know about until recently, and that's what
Castle
Josh
Wolfenstein.
maybe. Yeah, yeah. So I don't want to talk too much. Don't want to spoil too much, but it's kind of cool to see like what secrets unfold,
Yeah.
and how knowing it now is kind of like, oh, whoa, wow, that changes everything that you thought about the war.
I mean, okay. I know World War II was horrible. A lot of
Hmm.
people died. There
Yes.
was a lot of, brave people died trying to fight for freedom. However, goddamn, dude, so cool that like we're still finding things, 70 years later, 80 years later, and
Yeah.
it's some of the stuff is still a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind, but it's a good thing that they weren't able to tell people about these history and secrets
Hmm.
because it's supposed to be a secret. But over time, when the secret's out, it kind of like gives you a better understanding and a better story.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that kind of gives movies more of a bigger picture, so then they
hmm
can actually tell a better story.
Yeah,
But
Overlord. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so Expedition X. So the first episode is about the Mothman,
hmm
and I'm gonna start out by saying it's kind of cool to see, Josh Gates with Jessica Chobot and whatever that guy is. Um,
He's a
uh,
total animal planet guy. Who cares?
yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of cool to see them three together, but Josh doesn't really show up with them. They're off
Yeah.
doing their own thing, and they would call in on Josh. And a lot of the scenes, I'm gonna tell you right now, it feels like it was forced in a way where it's like not,
So is
you know,
it
it
kind
felt
of
more
like a
scripted.
yeah? Is it kind of like what Bill Nye does in his new Netflix show where he kind of sends out correspondence on the field?
Yeah,
So, but he's still in the studio.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I kind of figured as much.
hmm
It felt very Carmen Sandiego when I read the pitch.
hmm
Um, but still cool though. I mean, it's Josh is only one guy, so he can only travel so much in a year.
hmm
I'm sure the network probably pitched it to him as, "Hey, would you like to do a different show more focused on the paranormal aspect, much like his, uh, Destination Truth."
Yeah.
Uh,
It's funny because a lot of the people that came out of that show went on
yeah.
to do their own show, and a lot of those like a lot of the
Oh,
spin-offs were
it
actually
failed.
pretty good. Well, some of them are pretty good, and I'm surprised that they didn't have a second season. Yeah.
There's another one, Fact or Fake.
Yeah,
That
I
one,
like
like
that one.
what?
I actually like that one.
It was rough at first, dude.
hmm
I gotta admit, like
hmm
very awkward setups.
Yeah, because you got Chilan Liu from G4 TV. I don't know if you remember that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, there's a couple of people that we knew that were like, why are they in there? But
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, the only one I really cared about was Jael, which was from Destination Truth. That was like
Yeah.
she was like his producer.
Yeah, and there was a
Um,
writer.
oh yeah, right. That's cool. Yeah, yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
the girl, the girl.
Yeah, the girl.
You
you would
yeah, no,
you would
I'll
you
check
would
it.
think that they're together because they had chemistry on the show too, but I guess not.
Yeah, but no, they're just buddies.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Anton. So just really quick, I checked out the last season of Voltron
hmm
on Netflix. They only went 8 seasons. They closed out the story.
hmm
But I want to keep this very high level. Voltron is the defender of the universe.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? I'm happy the way they were able to expand this little crappy badass show from our childhood
hmm
and really give it a full story, and give it a big epic size that it deserves.
Yeah,
But
I like how it kind of reminds me of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the
mhm,
the type of humor and the drawing style, and
yeah,
it's fun to watch. I like that.
I do like that it makes fun of itself.
hmm
A little spoiler: in season 8, they're on Earth and they are. The season starts off with the original animation from the 80s,
Oh, okay.
and you're kind of wondering like what the hell's going on here. And then the camera zooms out and it's people watching the show within the cartoon, or watching the cartoon within the show. And I guess like it's supposed to be that all the stuff that the paladins have been doing the last couple of years, the stories made their way to Earth.
So it's a
So on
reenactment
Earth,
of their
and Earth
missions.
yeah, it's reenactment. It's a
That's
story for
hilarious.
it's a
Wow.
show based on the. But it's funny because like the girl that plays Pidge, she's watching. She goes, "I don't talk like that. Am I really that nasally?"
Oh wow.
So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's a nice little homage to the original show, a callback, I say.
That's actually
Um,
pretty cool.
but I mean, I like that they closed it out. 8 seasons, solid story. I didn't feel really dragged out at any point.
hmm
And I'm glad they just closed it out. They didn't try to push out for another ninth to 10th season.
All right. So Voltron has a pretty good ending. So let's leave it at that. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to movies.
All right, Anton. I'm trying to think of what I mean, we're in a weird time right now where the new weekend starts today because the new releases.
Yeah.
But I'll just give last weekend's numbers.
Yeah.
All right. So at number one, still Bad Boys for Life, uh, with 23.9 million. Number two, 1917 with 13.9 million. Number three, Doolittle with 9.7 million. Number four, The Gentleman with 8.2 million. And number five, wait, do I have the right week? Yes, I do. That's the next.
Okay.
I guess the other one hasn't come out yet. And number five, Hansel and Gretel with 8.0, just 8 million. Wait, something's missing here. This can't be right.
Where are you getting your sources from?
Box Office Mojo. Maybe a weekend? That is so weird. Birds of Prey is not on here. You know what? I'll pull up the numbers from.
Yeah, Birds of Prey didn't do that well last weekend.
Yeah, but it's not even on the list to begin
That's
with.
weird.
Let's try this one. There we go. That's weird. So it's both of them show me the same date range, and both of them are domestic, but this one actually shows me different movies. So number one, Birds of Prey with 33 million. Number two, Bad Boys for Life with 12 million. Number three, there you go. Number three, 1917 with 9.2 million. Number four, Doolittle with 6.5, and number five, Jumanji: The Next Level with 5.5 million. That sounds more right.
Yeah, there we go.
That is so weird. Okay.
All right, so let's talk about a movie that we both saw this week, and that's Birds of Prey.
So, okay, we're talking about Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Yes, the long title.
Are we talking about just Birds of Prey, or are we talking about Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey?
Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Man, there's so many different titles for this movie. It's so confusing.
What was the Edge of Tomorrow? And was it Live, Die, Repeat?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't make up their damn minds about what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think they changed it up just for the sake of marketing and how should you call it? Hashtags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Anyways, Birds of Prey. What did you think?
You know what? It was a fun movie. I will admit I forgot it was R-rated. So it started off kind of lighthearted. I love the way the movie's style is kind of erratic. And Harley Quinn kind of introduces you to that when she starts telling you the story and she goes, no, wait, let me do this over again. And she starts over again because she's unstable. So you're being told the story through her eyes. And it's a lot of back and forth. It makes sense in her mind. The goofy captions over certain characters when they get introduced. It's
very Suicide Squad.
It's
like
Suicide.
They introduce like each character.
It's Suicide Squad, but more light. It's not as intense. However, the violence is totally R-rated. Not gory, but a lot of knees and elbows bending the wrong way. A lot of ball hitting.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the one thing that they try to push in this movie is that there's a lot of women power.
Yeah. Which is funny because every time a guy got hit in the balls, I would go like, "Oh my god," I would cringe, and my girlfriend's like, "Is it really that bad?" And then I forgot who Harley hit in the vag. But that made my girlfriend flinch. I'm like, oh, okay, that one hurts. But but a guy gets in the balls, I can't flinch. Okay, whatever. I do. Okay, side story. Well, watching this movie, there was a dad that brought his what I thought was 3 kids. and I guess they had to sit separately because the theater was full, so it was only kind of certain seats close to each other, but it wasn't enough for him.
Yeah.
Turns out he had four kids with him.
Oh, okay.
One of those kids was sitting on another one's lap, and she was no, I swear she couldn't be older than 4 years old. So anytime violence happened on the screen, me and my girlfriend would cringe. No, no, no. The little girl was just laughing her ass off, which freaked me out.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh God, what the hell's going, like, what is wrong with this dad? Like, I get it's a comic book, I guess, well, not superhero, but it's like,
Yeah.
comic book movie. I get it's supposed to be humorous, but goddamn, there's like, again, a lot of violence, a lot of drug use, and people getting their faces ripped off.
And there's a kid watching it.
Yeah.
So, is it bad parenting, or
Yes.
is it starting your kid young?
No, bad parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What are your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I thought it was very fun action. A lot of the scenes was awesome.
Mhm.
But to tell you the truth, the story is a little weak for me.
It is.
I mean, it's slow at times for the pacing,
Uh-huh.
but it's trying to build the characters because there's so many characters. They're trying to, really let them shine. And I believe that all the characters do have enough time to shine, and that's good.
Mhm.
I'm going to say a lot of the scenes felt awkward. I don't know if you feel that way. And I think the only reason why it feels awkward is because there needs to be another cut to something else. Because sometimes you would see the actors like acting like improv, and you
Mhm.
kind of see them like go,
They held it too long.
yeah, they held for too long, and they're like, what do I do next? Like I'm trying to improv.
Yeah.
So I felt like a lot of that was in the movie.
I'll point out one thing that I kind of felt this movie did oddly.
Hmm.
Um, well, two things. One, even though the Joker is not in the movie, and even though it's not about him, with all these gangsters, all these goons, you think you would see at least a group of clowns or like makeup sort of trying to, get on the cash, get on the reward. Something. Even if it's not against Harley, like against one of the other girls, something. Because I mean, it's not like Joker's dead. He's
Hmm.
just broke up with her. He's still in the town. He's still a villain to be feared, which they set up in the beginning of the movie that he's the king, that nobody can touch anything that he wants. Like, before they broke up, nobody can touch Harley Quinn without having to face him.
Hmm.
Um, where even Ewan McGregor's character couldn't harm her.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of weird. And two, didn't it feel like Ewan McGregor's character was kind of a fill-in for the Joker in the sense like she anything that should be happening during the breakup with the Joker, she was doing with him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all the drama, all
Hmm.
the animosity, all the like he was a stand-in. It's like like they could have if Leto's Joker was a bigger hit with audiences, I think this would have been a good breakup movie with the two of them.
Yeah.
But because I think DC realized, oh, Leto's Joker was not popular. Oh, wait, especially now after an Oscar-winning Joker, or potentially Oscar-winning Joker at the time, uh, is coming up soon. Why bring back this bad Joker into the picture?
Yeah. Technically, I don't think Jared was a bad Joker.
I
I
didn't say
think
bad. I'm saying that
yeah,
he was
not
poorly
not the
received.
popular guy.
Yeah, poorly
Yeah.
received.
Hmm. Yeah. I wish they
Um,
gave him a chance, like probably sometime in the future. But yeah.
we'll see though.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's something that stood out to me. Um, I'll give him a lot of credit for the police station scene. That was a very fun scene. I do wonder why she didn't just get shot within 5 minutes.
Hmm.
Uh, but it was fun as a lot of, which led me to the realization of, holy shit, this choreography is amazing.
Hmm. They trained a
Every
lot. They trained a lot
they
for this.
they did, and just the long, it's almost like they took a page out of the Daredevil Netflix show,
Yep.
with
Totally
just
agree.
long camera shots.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I give props to Margot Robbie and the other actors and actresses that were in
Yeah.
those long fight scenes.
Yeah, I love that scene in the locker room,
Oh,
the
the evidence room.
yeah, the evidence room. That was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I really like that.
the baseball
Okay,
bat.
yeah, the baseball bat.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, what would you rate this movie?
Uh, I would say 4.25. It was a fun movie, but B
4.25.
plus,
Okay.
B plus around there. So that's
Hmm.
4.25. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.7.
Yeah, I think somewhere.
Yeah.
I was hovering between B minus, B plus, or B
Yeah.
B. Yeah, I mean it's a fun movie, but you're right. It has its gaps.
Hmm.
But definitely should be making more money than it has so far.
Yeah. But I think DC's on the right path. And
Yeah.
speaking of DC, I just got to throw this out there. There is a new
Oh,
clip. I don't know if you've seen it.
yeah, the camera test, right?
Yeah, camera test. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I like the suit. I'm digging the suit, and he actually looks pretty good.
They kind of have the again going back to Daredevil, the Daredevil combat feel to it.
Hmm. Yeah,
I love the suit. Yeah, it's in our at the 2OC on social media, Instagram, Twitter. Check out the picture.
yeah. I
Uh,
like how the Batman logo. It seems like there's two
it's like knives,
batarangs.
right?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks like knives, batarangs. Yeah,
yeah,
I think
like
that's
it.
kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I like it. That doesn't help that it's red lighting
Yeah.
for the whole Daredevil comparison.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, check out the pictures. It's very. I mean, even the video is like what, 10 seconds, 30
Yeah.
seconds. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's short. It's just a quick pan. All right, Anton. I know you wanted to get my thoughts on this one. You talked about it last time.
Yes.
Parasite,
Yes.
uh, the big Oscar winner.
Is it the best movie of 2019?
Yes. Um, and it's good because it's a long burn. It's consistent burn. You don't really. I didn't really feel any low points. It hits you to a certain spot and just levels you and just keeps you that way throughout the end of the movie until the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was interesting, and I gotta say the sister's very cute.
It's just cute.
Okay,
She's in a lot of movies, I think. Yeah, she's in
yeah,
a lot of movies.
yeah.
Oh, and I think your girlfriend probably said something about her because she was in one of the shows that she watched. It's called
She did.
Goblin.
I think she did.
Yeah.
Um, I gotta say something though. What's
Mm.
with the Koreans and the weird age differences?
Weird age differences. What do you mean by
Like,
that?
do they not find it creepy? A guy, not just in college, but like late college years, hitting and making out with a high school girl, which is probably like 17, 16.
Uh huh.
That's not weird.
That is weird. That's not supposed to
Okay.
happen.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right.
that's not supposed to happen.
Okay.
But in this, they're trying to make it uncomfortable for people to watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's the thing about this movie is sometimes you feel comfortable watching it, and sometimes you're like, "What is going on?" You know, and that's what
What?
keeps you watching it, and it kind of gives you
It
like
teases you. It gives you little things that makes you think it's gonna be one thing, and then it goes. I'll
yeah.
spoil one thing.
Go ahead.
Uh, I started to overthink when I can't remember the main character's name. When he said the same thing that his friend said before he left about him wanting to make it official with the daughter when she got to university.
Mm-hmm.
It's like his exact wording was the same. So I'm like, is the daughter the like the monster, or like the bad person here? Like what's going on here? Like I start to overthink that. So I think that's something that this movie does well, as it plants little seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when you feel, I say, you put your guard, you put your guard down. You question, should you put your guard down?
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
this like you gotta watch like some of the YouTube videos of dissecting the whole entire movie,
yeah.
because like there's a lot of hidden messages in this movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like one thing that a lot of people pointed out was whenever they talked about the poor people,
yeah,
they always have to pan the camera down. They're always under.
yeah.
Yeah, like for
And
example, like
the
when
overhead shots.
overhead shots, and
Yeah,
like when it was his first time going to the house to tutor.
uphill.
Yeah, he had to go uphill,
Yeah, yeah,
and then when he needed to go home, he needs to go downhill.
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that until the scene where the flooding happened and the shot overhead hung there for a while,
yeah,
and I saw that the dog swimming.
yeah,
That's when I kind of realized, oh, I see what they're doing here.
yeah. And even the basement too, like because they had to go down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. It's
that
freaking, like,
is
how
something.
how deep is that?
Yeah. So, and another thing is they also talked about, the Native Americans,
Hmm.
like the
Yeah,
Puritans
the
came in. Yeah. And they had
yeah,
that scene where the old man, the dad, was
uh-huh,
playing an Indian, for
yeah,
the party.
yeah,
And that had a lot of very thoughtful things, to have so much meaning to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so stuff like that, like I don't know, you should check out some of the cool stuff that people really dissect into. Stuff like I'm
Hmm.
like, whoa, okay, I didn't see that. Probably if I watch it again, I'll catch something else. So yeah, I think that's the thing about this movie that really hits home is people can relate to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the well, I love the obscurity or uncertainty the ending tries to leave you with,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't buy. But I think that's, I mean, which, there's two ways to look at it, and either way, I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I won't say what it is, but I think that's something he did a good job with. Definitely not a predictable ending.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the last 30 minutes is definitely a, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Again, it
Yeah.
almost has a paranormal feel to it when there, but there's nothing to suggest it other than your own a random thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought 1917 was gonna win because of the technicality of
Yeah.
the directing and the way that the story was told. Everything was so solid, but I think Parasite brings a different dynamic to
Hmm.
filmmaking because you're watching something that is very unexpected,
Hmm.
and it's a roller coaster, really.
Yeah.
And I think it's the twists and the meanings of things in this movie that really makes it a masterpiece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely giving Parasite 4.85, 8 plus.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's
It's,
pretty high.
well, 4.9. What am I doing?
Yeah,
4.9.
that 4.9. All right.
Yeah. Uh,
I go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I concur.
Okay.
It's a 4.9.
All
It's
right.
a very solid movie.
Yeah. All right. And we're running along, so I'm just gonna. We had Bad Boys 2, Jumanji. Uh, I give both of those, let's say, 4.5. That's solid A minus.
Hmm.
Uh, Bad Boys 2 is a great. Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 3. Bad Boys 3. Bad Boys for Life. It's a great revival of the
Yeah,
franchise.
it's
I c-
Alan Flores' favorite movie, right? Instant
it,
favorite.
I mean, Vanessa Hudgens, man. She's rocking that hair.
Yeah.
It's a funny cast, even the newer additions. And it, goddamn, did I not have anxiety throughout that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was obvious that they were not holding back.
Mm-mm.
What once certain things happen, you're kind of like, well, fuck, what else is gonna happen?
Did you see the cameos? There was two cameos that was in there. I don't know if you spotted them.
Which ones? I saw this like 2 weeks ago, so it's kind of not
Okay,
fresh.
so the first one was Jerry Bruckheimer,
Okay, I
and
didn't see
then
that one.
second one was Michael Bay.
I saw Michael Bay.
You saw Michael Bay. Yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer's in one of it. It's funny.
Also,
Yeah,
DJ Khaled, so random.
yeah. I think he was in the last movie, was he?
No,
No.
no, no. That was way before Khaled was
Yeah, that's
popular.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, actually, one more thing before for Birds of Prey, going back to Ali Wong, such a random role for her.
No, I think they're setting up for the future because I mean she playing
Did they
one of the
see?
characters from District. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the
Mhm.
I gotta look. I gotta think. Catwoman. I don't know. I gotta brush up my Batman mythology again. All right. Anyways, no, I was saying it was a random character because there was no humor. There's no like real sarcasm. There's no like everything that you would know Ali Wong for,
Comedy.
like comedy, sarcasm, something. She didn't have it here.
Yeah, she didn't really deliver any punches for comedy in this one. No.
Yeah, so I thought it was kind of a weird role for her.
Mhm.
Anyways, and then finally, Jumanji 2. Oh, Jeez, I keep doing that. Oh, Welcome to the Jungle. Technically, it's Jumanji 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Was it Welcome to the Jungle? No, it's not. It's Next Level. Next
Next
Level.
level. Yeah.
Do you know what, dude? I'm tired. Anyways,
It's late.
uh,
It is late. It's
it is
2 o'clock for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great sequel to the previous one. They kept the laughs going. I love that they knew that the audience had the other Jumanji movie somewhat fresh in their minds, so they didn't like hold up the movie to explain the rules of the game. They kind of did a quick, like almost like in video games, the whole, this is how you do this. Do you want to do the tutorial or do you want to just skip it? Skip.
I think that's the thing with Sony though. They know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they did that for Spider-Man too.
Oh, that's
Well,
true.
not two, but like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I loved it, dude. That's like, and they tweaked it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that little nod at the end, which you can tell they're setting up for another sequel there.
Yeah. So you stayed around for that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that last scene. Oh my god, I don't really know what to say. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. If people want to be excited for helping us, how can they do that?
They can do that by going to our website at www.the2c.com and maybe buy some stickers, t-shirts, and maybe a hat. And if there was something that we talked about on the show or anything that was posted on our social media, any of the links takes them to Amazon and it gives us a little kickback.
Were you trying to set me up for that one? Because I really didn't pick that one.
Yeah.
All right. You can also go to at the 2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to see the latest posts, news, updates for the podcast, or even there's a little email and call button if you want to get a hold of us. But if you don't have Instagram, you can go to mail@the2oc.com and give us your thoughts. What do you think about these movies? Birds of Prey, underrated, overrated? What do you think?
All right, today's podcast is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2oc. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your Android, iPhone, Kindle, or MP3 player if you have one of those old ones. So, Alan gave me a extra copy that I already bought.
Mm-hmm.
Ride of a Lifetime. So I highly recommend listening to that if you don't have the book.
Oh yeah, it's a good read. Good stories in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't finished it, but I'm sucked into it.
Yeah, Bob Iger is a very good storyteller.
I mean, it's almost like he's head of a corporation that's known for storytelling. both
True.
both in television and movies, fictional and sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. All right. I think that's it, right? Am I missing
Yep.
anything?
That's it.
All right. For the 2OC, I'm Al Flores.
Now I'm Anton Dual.
See you guys.
See you guys.